Welcome back to BST, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. We got NFL playoffs later on this afternoon and night and tomorrow and the next day. It's going to be a good couple days of football. The national championship is set. So we'll run through our NFL predictions. We'll talk about those games. The NFL head coaches that have been fired, the openings, what that means. And then we'll end off the show with the DeMond Williams fiasco. Just a pretty bad situation for the University of Washington. So without further ado, let's just get right into this thing with our playoff predictions. Been thinking long and hard about this for the whole week, and I'm not going to say I'm confident at this point either. It's a crazy slate right now in the NFL, and it doesn't feel like there's one juggernaut. In the NFC, I have some semblance of an idea of what's going to happen. In the AFC, it could go anywhere, and it could be destroyed as early as tomorrow morning. So let's hop into this thing. Let's make sure this works. I just need to pull up this real quick. So I need to hide this camera, pull up this camera. Bang. All right. We can see this now. So Houston and Pittsburgh. Let's start up there on the top left. Two teams that play very similarly. Pittsburgh's defense has been really good since week 9. Houston has been the best defense since week 9. They're phenomenal. They've been the best defense all year. When kind of doing my research, I wanted to filter it to after week 9 because I feel like that's kind of when football starts. Once November hits, that's kind of when, teams are fighting for playoff positioning, and real football starts. And Houston's defense has just been phenomenal. And, all season, the only team that's kind of been able to score on them is the Jaguars, that one game. But other than that, it hasn't happened. And I mean, they shut down Josh Allen, and they're on a 10-game winning streak right now. So Houston's playing phenomenal football, and a run to the Super Bowl for them predicates on their offense. We know what their defense can do. Can Stroud just play competent football and reach anything near what we saw in 2023? I mean, this is a Super Bowl team, but certainly the O-line is not super strong, so that's somewhat of a concern. It's in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh plays pretty much the same game. Their offense is better. They can run the ball a little bit better. That's the thing about Houston. That's the thing about a lot of the best defenses. Houston can't run the ball. Jacksonville can't really run the ball. Philly can't really run the ball. And Seattle can't really run the ball. Those are the 4 best defenses in this playoff, and not one of them can really run the ball super effectively, which is kind of the opposite of what you'd think you'd see for a really dominant defensive team. If they could just run the ball, I mean, that's your formula. Like Philly last year, they ran the ball so well. And of course, Hurts was phenomenal in the playoffs, but they ran the ball so well. I mean, their defense stopped opponents, and like there was nowhere to go. You just had to you just played Philly ball, and I'm not sure that Houston can really do that. Their defense can certainly play good defense, but can they really just drain the clock like that offensively? I'm not sure. But in this game, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going Houston. It's in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh could put up somewhat of a fight. I don't think Houston's going to dominate like some people think. I think their defense might dominate, but I think Pittsburgh's defense can shut down Houston. They have the pieces to do that. They've played some good defense this year. So I don't think this is going to be an absolute blowout like some people think, but I just think Houston's the better football team. They have better players. So we'll have Houston moving on. All right, next, the hardest game of the day, for sure. For sure. I have no idea where this one's going to go. Absolutely no idea. Buffalo, Jacksonville. In Jacksonville. Even now, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I've leaned Buffalo. I've leaned Jacksonville. I think in the back of my mind, there's a part of me that wants Buffalo, just like, and if I pick Buffalo, like I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl. But I just don't know anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I believe in the team as a whole. I think the team is fine, but Jacksonville's just playing really good football. Their defense has been really good over this stretch. Their passing game has been really good with Trevor Lawrence over this stretch. The Bills aren't going to really do anything to challenge that. I don't think Ed Oliver is back, which is a huge loss for Buffalo. And Jacksonville has a pretty strengthened run defense to combat James Cook. And we've seen this year when the Bills can't run the ball with James Cook, it's kind of dead on arrival. They really have struggled when James Cook can't get going. I think he has 130 scrimmage yards per game in wins and like 13 touchdowns, and he has like 84 scrimmage yards in losses and 1 touchdown. Like, when he doesn't get going, they lose games. Man, do I side with Josh Allen or do I side with the better team, in my opinion? Oh, this is so tough. Bills have not been good on the road in the playoffs, but I mean, that's also because they've traveled to Kansas City multiple times and have lost. God, dude, I don't know, man. This one's so tough. I'm riding with the Jags. I am. I just don't think this is the year for the Bills, and that sucks. And it sucks. It's just like, dude, it's the one year you don't have to go through Mahomes or Burrow or Lamar, and you get bounced in the first round. I hope I'm wrong, but just something feels wrong to me. And there's just been these games for Buffalo where it's not there offensively. And the defense does its best, but it's not enough, and that's what I feel like is going to happen. So I'm scared about that pick. Buffalo, if you prove me wrong, I appreciate it, but I'm going with that. And now LA and New England. I don't know where all this hate for New England comes from. I really don't. Okay, you can say the schedule. Guess who had the second worst schedule in the league? The Broncos. So, I mean, sure, there's some hate for the Broncos, but it's crazy for New England. It's like, oh, the schedule. Well, in every kind of like quote unquote test they've had, they've answered. They've answered correctly. Like against the Buccaneers, maybe not a great win, but I mean, they beat them. Against Buffalo, I mean, they were dominating in one game, ended up losing, but I mean, they showed that they could handle a contender. And then the other game against Buffalo, they won. So I mean, I don't know what you want from them. I think they're a great football team, and they're getting healthier. They get Will Campbell back on the O-line. That's huge to protect Drake May, one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And then you're getting Milton Williams back, a defensive tackle. Once he went out, your run defense kind of went to shit. So I mean, you get him back. I mean, he was a big force on that D-line. So you get him back. Like, this team's looking pretty good. You got the shutdown quarter in Christian Gonzalez. You got the explosivity from Travion Henderson at running back. Diggs ain't going to get arrested until after the Super Bowl. I like what I'm seeing here. I think you have the pieces offensively to go on a run here. And let's be real, it ain't the hardest path, you know? And I don't get all the schedules talk. It's like it's not a big deal to me, you know? Sure, if they didn't have the schedule, would they be the division winner? No, they'd probably be where the Bills are or something. That's probably where they would be. But they aren't. They won the games, and they're here. But that being said, in this game, I just think they're the better team than the Chargers. I love me some Justin Herbert. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think he gets overhated. I think if they lose this game, it won't be on him. I think right now they just don't have a roster. They just don't. It's not a complete team right now because they're missing both their tackles that have been lost to injury this year. Their whole line in general is pretty garbage right now. So, I mean, Herbert's just running for his life, and I think the weapons are good, but it's just when you don't have an O-line, the offense is kind of nowhere. And, of course, Harbaugh has brought in a good defense, and Jesse Minter has called a great defense. And they're doing good on that part of the game. They have a pretty good defense. But I just think they're overmatched in this game. I think Drake May is going to be able to move the ball. I don't see the Chargers winning this game in any sort of fashion. So I'll have the Patriots moving on. All right, let's jump over to the NFC wild card. LA and Carolina. Boom, LA is going to win. Carolina does not do very much well at all. It took a pick six and another pick in the first matchup to beat them, and that was only barely. I trust that Stafford will not be turning over the ball this time because I think he's the MVP. I don't think he's going to do that. So I just really don't see a way Carolina gets this win. They really don't do anything good. Like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Like, they are pretty bad at a lot of things. No matter where you look at it, what phase or facet of the game, they're pretty bad. So I'm not trying to be mean, but like, they're not a very good football team. This was a dream matchup if you're a Rams fan. So I'm going to pick the Rams. All right. Philly and San Francisco, another tough one. You're looking at strength on strength. The Niner offense versus the Philly defense, that's strength on strength. And then you're looking at weakness and weakness. The Niner defense versus the Philly offense. Who's going to win that? I don't know. What I do know is it's in Philly, and that's a really, really, really tough place to play. And it's going to be cold. And, Brock Purdy, great quarterback, kind of on the smaller side, maybe not the best in the cold. This offense in general, maybe not the best in the cold. This is a tough one. I just don't think that anytime you have a really good offense, I think they can move the ball on Philly for sure. But that defense, I don't know, man. It's just really bad. They have so many injuries. It's just not a good defense. So I think Philly, they have the pedigree. I'm not sure that's going to take them to a Super Bowl, but this one's tough, man. I think if Barkley can get going, and, we've seen him against pretty bad defenses this season, he's gotten going. Like against the Giants, he got it going. They have a really better run defense. Niners not too far back from that. I mean, I hate the Niners because I'm a Packers fan, but I'm going Philly in this one. I'm going Philly. I also hate Philly. I can't stand either of these teams. So, but I just think at home, in the Link, gonna be cold, defense flying around. I think the offense should be able to move somewhat against the Niners. Hopefully. Okay, that's the thing. If Philly can't move the ball against the Niners, we are looking at serious problems right now. Like serious problems. Like, you better be able to move. But yeah, I just think Philly's going to win this one. All right, Green Bay and Chicago. My team versus my arch nemesis, the Chicago Bears. This could go either way. Honestly, this one's probably one of the closer ones of the slate in the wild card. It's really tough. I think if Ben Johnson doesn't try to be pass happy, which he has before, basically in both of the matchups against Green Bay, he's tried to chase the passing game with Caleb. Hasn't really worked. So if he tries to do that, I think the Packers have a chance defensively. If they just play like they did against Philly and just pound the rock, I'm not sure the Packers have a chance defensively. But I also don't think Chicago has a chance defensively outside of a turnover. That's the thing about Chicago's offense. They don't turn over the ball, so I'm not really looking at... And the Packers can't get a pass rush, so I'm not really looking at basically any negativity to come from Chicago's offense all game. It's probably all going to be going forward unless they go backward on like a pitch or something. Maybe a TFL somewhere. They're probably always going to be moving forward. I'd guarantee we won't get a sack, and I will almost guarantee we won't get a pick. So that's not great. And Chicago's defense has somehow gotten a pick multiple every game. I mean, they're leading the league in turnover differential by a big margin. So, man, this is tough. But I do think the Packers offense is pretty healthy right now and should be able to really march on this defense, kind of like we saw in both games, really. I mean, in the second game, we marched on their defense with Malik Willis, but we just couldn't capitalize in the red zone. So, this one's tough. I'm going Green Bay. Hate me for it. Chicago fans up in arms. But LaFleur is coaching for his job, I think. And another first round exit would not be good. And when you look at the coaching landscape right now, and you got Stefanski and Harbaugh out there, if you're Ed Policy, I'm not so sure that you're keeping the floor to pass up on those coaches. So, yeah, I like Green Bay here. I just think they're going to be able to march on that offense. I think they could put up 40 for sure. And I think the defense will just do enough. There's still really good players on that defense. It's just the D-line is pretty ass. It's pretty horrible. But there's good players on that D-line, on the rest of the defense. And I think they'll be competent enough, like we saw last time in Chicago. And they really stifled Chicago for most of the game. So I think Green Bay is gonna pull out a win here. All right, Houston, Denver. In the AFC divisional, this one's tough too. This is like the same teams. I will say, Denver has secretly, in the past 10 weeks, become an offensive team. Even shorter, 7 weeks. But in the past weeks, they've become an offensive team. They're 5th in EPA per play in the past 7 weeks, I think. And they're 20th in defensive EPA. That is a weird dynamic because the way we all look at this team is the offense is not good. The defense is good. But I think the defense is somewhat concerning because you've gotten to a point where the Jaguars were able to move on you. The Packers were able to move on you. But certainly Houston is not the opponent that really has that ability, I don't think. I don't think they have that in them to move the ball like that. And the defense will be flying around, just like in Pittsburgh. It will be flying around, making plays, sacking. But, I mean, if there's any O-line that's able to hold against this D-line, it's the Broncos O-line. Their O-line is phenomenal. And I think that's a part of their team that most people don't talk about, is how good their O-line is. So I'm going Denver here. I know a lot of people like the Houston to the Super Bowl. I think Denver has a lot of pieces that Super Bowl teams have. A good, really good pass rush, pretty good secondary, and that O-line, man. That O-line, when you have a good O-line, you can get a lot done in the playoffs because you're not getting sacked a whole ton. And if they can they haven't really ran the ball great in the past weeks. If they can figure out a way to run the ball better, and really help to kind of build that formula of playing good defense and running the football, I think they could be cooking with gas. I still think they can beat Houston. I'm not sure Houston is just the best team, to be honest. I really don't. So I got Denver moving on. All right. Jacksonville, New England. This is going to be a great matchup. And I think it go either way. But a lot of times when I think about games, who's a coach? Who's a quarterback? Drake May, Mike Vrabel are going to be a lot of those combos in the league. I love what Liam Cohen's doing. I love what Trevor Lawrence is doing right now. But I really do think New England, with Milton Williams back, that defense kind of at full strength, getting Will Campbell back, Jaguars can't really get a lot of pressure. Their pressure rate is one of the worst in the league. So I think if Drake May's kept clean, I mean, he's just going to dice. He's just going to dice. And I think Anthony Campanile, the defense coordinator for the Jags, he's done a great job with his defense this year. But I think I just don't think it's going to work against Drake May. I think they're going to be able to protect him, and he's just going to dice him. I really do. And I think the New England's going to go on a run to the AFC Championship. where we have New England, Denver. That's are we in 2015 again? This is so weird. But anyway, all right. In the NFC divisional, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. The Packers are not beating the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a much better team. I will say, Seahawks are not really built to beat the Packers. Like, they don't have a run game that they can expose that D line with. But also the Packers don't have a pass rush to kind of fluster Sam Darnold. But I could see this game being somewhat close, where the Packers are able to dial up some pressures that get to Sam Darnold. Maybe he throws a pick. And their running game just isn't really able to get going. Maybe. And then the Packers offensively maybe just squeak out like 21 points. And maybe it's like a 24-21 game or something like that. I think I could see that. But I just don't really see avenues for the Packers to win this game fully. So I'm going Seattle. They're a very good team. They're on the bye. Hopefully they don't get the Packers bye curse that we always seem to have with Aaron Rodgers on those years that we had the bye. And we got screwed because we'd have the bye and then we'd come out so flat the next week. So hopefully it doesn't happen for Seattle. But I am a Packers fan, so hopefully it does. All right, finally, to round out the divisional round, LA and Philadelphia. I think the NFC Championship was made to be LA and Seattle for sure. Philly, they're going to put up a fight. They already beat the Rams, but it was off the blocked field goal. And I just don't really see them putting up 36 or whatever they did on the Rams like they did that game at all. I don't think that's in the cards. Philly's going to have to play a really slow game. And I mean, the Rams are the best offense in the league. So, I like that pick. I think the Rams are just running the ball really well. They're passing the ball really well. Their defense has done enough. I don't think it's great, but it's done enough. And I mean, Philly just has so many holes right now, in terms of offense. So yeah, I'm firm with the Rams pick. All right, AFC Championship. Who is going to the Super Bowl? I don't know, man. This one's a tough one. I really like what Denver's about. I really do. It's in Mile High. That's interesting. Gonna be cold. But Bo Nix, do I trust Bo Nix to go on a run? I don't know. If we just look at the matchups, it's like, is New England going to get any pressure? Probably not. But no one's really going to pressure Bo Nix all season. He hasn't been pressured all season. He's still kind of struggled. So that's not really a point of interest for me. I don't really care about that. New England doesn't run the ball especially well. Denver doesn't run the ball especially well. It's going to come down to these passing games, and I just trust New England more. I do. I trust New England more. I trust Vrabel more than Sean Payton, as crazy it is to say. New England's going to be one of the most well-coached teams in the playoffs. They're going to be disciplined. Give me New England. Give me New England to go back to the Super Bowl. I really believe in Drake May. I do. And I think the slate of teams is here. There's not a juggernaut. I think it's here for New England to make a run. I really do. All right, New England in the Super Bowl. In the NFC Championship game. It was made to be Rams Seahawks for sure. And here we have it. All right. This is such a tough one. Rams won one, Seahawks won the other. Rams probably should have won both. But honestly, I thought in the first game, it's kind of flipped. I think the Rams should have won the second game, and the Seahawks probably should have won the first game. The Seahawks drove down into the red zone multiple times. Were kicking field goals. Most of the Rams touchdowns came in short fields because of the Sam Darnold picks. Do I trust Sam Darnold this deep into a playoff run? No, I don't. And, that might be unfair, but at this point, sorry, I don't. Like I've said before, it's a coach and quarterback league. I'm taking Sean McVay, the best coach in the league. I'm taking Matt Stafford, the best quarterback in the league at this point. I'm going Rams here. It's going to be a close one, and I think it can go either way. The Seahawks defense has been the best, if not one of the best, in the past couple of weeks for sure. Um, but that offense has secretly been like 20th in EPA per play. Like it's not been a great offense. I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep up with the Rams like they weren't able to in like what was it, week 15, week 14. But I mean the Rams just had a couple really unlucky things happen. The punt return. I think in round 3 in Seattle, the Rams get it done. They have so much talent on that team. All right, sets us up with a New England LA Super Bowl. This one's gonna be fun. This one's gonna be really fun. Two high flying offenses, probably the two best offenses in the league since like week 10, week 9, for sure. The two MVP candidates. Weapons galore. Puka Nacua, Stephon Diggs, Travion Henderson, Kyron Williams, all Davante Adams. This is going to be high-flying offense. And I don't think either of these defenses are good enough to really shut the other one down. But ultimately, I think LA is a team of destiny this year. I really do. I think, obviously, they have the MVP. I think they're the best coach in the league. That wide receiver duo of Puka and Devontae is nasty. They're running the ball. They're the best running team since week 9, according to EPA and success rate. They are phenomenal running the ball with Corum and Kyron now. Both are viable options. The O-line, it's a little bit injured, but I think they can get by. And then defensively, I think they have the pieces. I just think they're the team, man. I think they're the team to beat this year. In a league where nobody's saying there's a team to beat, I really do think it's LA. So there you have it. That is my bracket for this year. LA taking it. It's going to be a good one for sure. It's going to be a great game. And a great couple of games. And I am super, super, super excited for all of that. All right, let's get back to the normal camera here. So let me know now in the comments what you think of that bracket. Will I be wrong? Probably, but that's what I'm going with. That's where my heart's at this year. All right, let's move on to the head coaches. Well, first, actually, Super Bowl MVP will be Matt Stafford. That's my prediction. And it will kind of cement his career. I think he might retire. Just walk off, right off into the sunset. After that, how could you get any better than that? So that's my prediction. But several head coaches have been fired. They're getting fired left and right. It's kind of crazy right now. So if we look at the openings right now, so we have Jonathan Gannon being fired, Raheem Morris fired, John Harbaugh fired, Stefanski fired, Pete Carroll fired, Mike McDaniel fired, Brian Daboll fired, Brian Callahan fired, and that was early on in the season. So, first off, let's just talk about Harbaugh. I don't think Harbaugh deserved to be fired. I don't. People can say that otherwise. I get it, but I just don't really understand. It's like, in every playoff game, really, Lamar has not shown up to play. And when you don't have good quarterback play, it's really hard to win playoff games. And I think what Harbaugh has done is instilled a good culture. I heard this report that players were going into his office crying. This guy means a lot to this organization. And I just don't like this idea that, we fired the coach, everything will be fixed. Everything is perfectly good now. And it's like, I don't think so. And now it looks like their completed interviews are Vance Joseph, David Webb, and Clint Kubiak. And they're basically pulling out all the stops, looking at everyone to interview. So I don't know. For me, it's just like, was he ever the problem? Maybe. And it's hard to quantify that idea because it's not like it's a stat. It's, but I think what he's done is he's instilled a good culture. But let's be honest, Lamar hasn't shown up. And this year, the roster just wasn't there fully. It wasn't a great roster. So I don't know, man. I think sometimes the grass ain't always greener, and they could find that out really quickly. And I think it's very similar with the Browns and Stefanski. I mean, those are the two best coaches in the carousel now for sure. And it's like for Stefanski, it's like, well, look at the quarterback play you gave him. You gave him Baker for 1 year, and you were really good. You went to the playoffs, and then Baker kind of gets in this weird spot, not playing good football, and they let him go. And then from there, it's just like you're giving him Deshaun Watson, which is a mess, and you give him Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel this year, and then you give him Joe Flacco, and he makes it work. Like he makes it work. And like, have you ever really had a good O-line there? Not this year. So it's like, I'm not sure. I think, I don't know why there's this idea that it's just like, all right, easy button, fired the coach, boom, we're back. Our team is good again. It's like, no, guys, it's a full team effort. It's not just on the coach, but it's a lot easier to fire a coach than move on from a quarterback or do something like that, or, adjust the roster. So I get why they do it, but like part of me is just like, dude, it's not just going to be that easy. And sometimes the grass ain't always greener. And I think Stefanski's a really good coach. There's a reason why the Giants dropped everything and are like, Harbaugh, Stefanski, sign us up. Sign us up for that. So, I mean, like, they're going after him. These are the two most sought after coaches in the carousel right now. So, like, I think that should tell you what other teams think about this. So, to me, it's just like, this might come back to bite them in the ass, but we'll see, of course. I mean, like, even Mike McDaniel. I know Mike McDaniel gets some hate, but honestly, I thought his team played really hard over the back half of the year when, they started off really poorly. But again, with him, it's like you gave him some of the worst quarterback play in the league for 2 years, 3 years. And I mean, he made it work for 1 year, and then teams were kind of figured out Tua. I mean, this guy draws up some phenomenal plays, and he's going to be the OC somewhere, probably go back to the 49ers. And I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know. I think sometimes you just got to wait until you get your quarterback and see what happens before you jump to these conclusions, because I think it does hurt teams for sure. But we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting. I really hope the Packers don't lose Jeff Hafley. I'm seeing his name on all these interview requests, so that's not great. But, I mean, so is the life of the NFL. You lose coaches. All right, let's move on to the football games. Miami, Ole Miss, the Fiesta Bowl, it was a phenomenal game. I thought Miami dominated, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, they moved the ball. I mean, what was the yardage? I feel like they outgained them by a ton, maybe. If I could click on it, holy crap. There we go. Okay. 459 total yards to 398. I mean, not a huge discrepancy, but I mean, I thought they just moved the ball, but just couldn't get it done in the red zone. They had a ton of penalties. But, I mean, they had 28 first downs, so Ole Miss is 23. They were 11 for 19 on third down to Ole Miss's 2 and 10. I mean, they ran the ball 200 yards. But, I mean, they had 51 rushing attempts. That is insane for 191 yards. But, yeah, I thought Miami deserved a win. And for a second there, I'm like, man, they're not going to do it. But they were able to. And they're moving on to the national championship. And we're in a point where it's like, are we just like repeating the past? It's like Miami's good at football again. The Patriots are good at football again. It's like, what is going on right now? But it was a good season for Ole Miss. I think it was two stories that were really good. I mean, you had with Ole Miss, obviously losing Lane Kiffin, it kind of revitalized the team. And there was that. And then on Miami, it's kind of like everybody's disrespecting you because they're like, oh, you didn't deserve to make it in. You weren't good enough to make it in. Notre Dame should have made it in over you. And now they're going to the national championship. And so it's kind of just like just throwing it right back at those guys' faces who said that. And, I like both these stories. I think Ole Miss's would have been maybe a little bit cooler just because, like, I mean, it's cool to lose your coach and still be at this spot. Like that is amazing. So two good stories. And if we're just talking Miami's chances, like it's going to be on that D line and that O line. They got Ruben Bain. I can't remember the guy who is on the opposite side of him, but he's really good at football. They have some good pieces on that O line and D line. So they could. I don't think they're gonna win in the thing about Indiana is they're injured on the D line. They got another injury in the Peach Bowl. So that could be interesting to see how that plays out. But if Miami's going to win the national championship, it's going to be on the O-line and D-line. Do I think they have a chance? Probably not. Because let's just talk about the Indiana game. 56-22. Miami wins 31-27. But this was an ass kicking. I mean, holy shit. Talk about stories. I mean, how in the hell did Kirk Cignetti do this? This was a 2-10 team 2 years ago. And now they're going to be playing for a national championship. And they are flat out destroying teams. Just destroying teams. It's not even close. They went against Alabama and destroyed them. They went against Oregon and destroyed them. This game wasn't a game. The first play of the game, it's a pick six. Oregon couldn't do shit to stop Indiana. Not a thing. It was horrific. It was not a great game to watch at all. And this is actually surprising. Oregon outgained Indiana somehow. I didn't even know that. But I mean, 11 of 14 on third down, had 3 incompletions, 5 passing touchdowns for Mendoza. Oh God, Mendoza, the Heisman. I mean, but Oregon had 3 turnovers. That was the name of the game there. But this is a juggernaut, man. This is a juggernaut. And it's hard to think they aren't going to just do this next year, really. I mean, they're going to find a quarterback some way, somehow. Maybe the other Mendoza, whatever his name is, the backup, maybe he's a player too. And you have this weird dynamic where you have the most positive quarterback I've ever seen. I think the guy's a cornball. Not necessarily a bad thing. He's just a cornball. Like, baseline, you're a cornball, dude. But he's so positive. I have never in my life seen a guy that is so positive in my life. It's like he loves life. He loves living. He loves playing football. Like, he just loves it. He's so positive, and it's so funny. I don't know how to explain it. His post-game interviews are just insane. Like, it's like he's a PR dream, dude. Like, it's so funny. And then on the other side, you have Kirk Cignetti, who's like, he's never smiling. He's never happy until after the game. But he's just Saban-like. He has the same kind of mannerisms, the same kind of like short like quotes that are funny. It's just like there's a lot of similarities here. And with Mark Cuban pumping money into this program, I mean, it's going to get interesting. And right now, they don't even have a 5-star. They don't have a 5-star. When's the last time a team won the national championship without a 5-star on the roster? Never? Like, actually, like I can't even think of a time. Like, actually, someone needs to look that up. When was the last time a team has won without a 5-star? They have 3 and 4 stars, and they're doing this. Imagine what happens when they go get the top recruits. Because guess what now? They're a real team. They are a real powerhouse in the Big Ten and in college football at large. They're going to get recruits. And with this culture that Cignetti's building, like, there is a serious movement here. And if you're an Indiana fan, bask in the glory. Bask in the glory. Because this is amazing. If you're an Indiana fan, you waited all your damn life for this. And here it is. You're 15-0. And you just beat Oregon by 30. and you're going to the national championship. What a story. And you're going to have a good chance in the national championship because I'm not sure Miami's going to be able to have the firepower to beat you. Let's talk about Oregon, though. This is back-to-back years that you've lost by a big margin against good teams like Ohio State won the Natty last year. Indiana's probably going to win the Natty this year. So, you can't be too mad about it, but you just don't have enough to get over that hump. And I don't know what it is, but for Dan Lanning, he's got to figure it out because, this is just it's too good of a team, of a roster, of a culture. Nike and Phil Knight are pumping money into there like nobody's business. So Oregon's going to be a good team, but back-to-back years, man, it's like this. You got to figure it out. And we'll see if Dante Moore leaves. He probably won't, honestly. I think he'll probably want to come back for another year. But that NFL money, you never know. He could come back for another year, get injured, drop his stock, not make as much money in the NFL. So I'd probably tell him to commit, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, just an ass kicking. Just an absolute pulverization of a team. Not even close. It wasn't close from the start, man. This Indiana team is so good. Fernando Mendoza, he's going to get drafted, and it's going to be high. He has some ridiculous arm talent. Honestly, his most underrated part of the game is just his understanding. He's so smart. He's so intelligent. It's unreal. He's probably one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks we've had in a good while, where he understands the game at another level. They're just a phenomenal football team. All right, let's end off the show with a weird situation. All right, so Damon Williams, if y'all haven't heard, he left. Why? So he signed this. Let me see if I can read on this. So yeah, he signed an NIL contract, $4.7 million a year. That was on January 6th. Or wait, no. No, that was before. So on January 6th, he enters the portal. And just a few days earlier, he signs this deal for $4.7 million. He's a great quarterback. He had one of the best years in college football for sure. So I'm just like, that's already a little weird. Like, why you sign this deal? Why are you entering the transfer portal? Why? And then he literally puts it on his Instagram, turns off the comments so no one could comment, but you look on the other post under it, and the comments are like, "You traitor, what the hell are you doing?" And apparently it was during some funeral or something. I'm not sure whose funeral it is. Rest in peace to whoever they are, but it was during somebody's funeral close to the university or something like that. And he was catching heat for that. Like, they're like, dude, have some class. It's in the middle of a funeral and you're posting this graphic, this letter to the fans or whatever about your transferring. And then all of a sudden, he's like, nah, I'll come back. Buddy, you burned bridges, dude. You ain't coming back. Maybe you are, but you ain't really coming back. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to be welcome there no more. They ain't going to want you. And maybe the administration does want him because, he's a good quarterback. But, you don't think everyone there is dude, who are you? You traitor? You left us. You wanted to transfer. You just signed a $4.7 million deal. And you want to transfer? I'd kill for that money. I'd kill for a quarter of that money. Like some O-lineman. That's this guy's just going to transfer and then it's going to be like, oh, sorry, guys, I made a mistake, and come back, and then he's going to just get all the money again. I think that's going to cause some serious rifts in the team and in the locker room and with the coaches. But That's a shitty move right there. And I think this kind of just points to like a larger problem right now. We're seeing because if he did leave, I mean that's just a shitty situation for the university. But like we're at a point where you can't have homegrown talent really if you're kind of a lower level team. Even if you're in the Big Ten, like Washington is, like it's not going to happen because they're just going to transfer now because universities have more money to spend. Other ones do, like any of the SEC teams. You know, some of the bigger Big Ten teams have more money. They can throw some cash at some players, and I don't blame him for wanting to transfer, but don't sign a deal and then transfer. No one's blaming you if you want to transfer, dude. You're a great quarterback. You want to go play at LSU or wherever the hell you want to go transfer? Go for it. You're a great quarterback. I get it. You want to go to a better team to win and improve your draft stock? Sure. But don't sign a deal and then leave. That's a bad thing to do. But it's also on the system for allowing this to even happen. And we have a system where like it's just going to be the same couple teams every year. And I guess they're fine with that because it's the best teams every year. It's the ones with the most fans, the ones that the media wants to cover. So I get it, I guess, but it just feels really hard to build a football team, and we're at a point where it's like, how are you supposed to at all? If you're just like with Boise State, being a Boise State fan, like we're just losing recruits, we're losing transfers because it's just like, oh, I can go play on this SEC team that will win games and pay me some money. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So I think what they need to do is start sharing. Like the NFL has a salary cap, and it's pretty much based off the media deal. So that what they need to do is start sharing some money, like a salary cap it at a certain point, so you don't get teams that are just way more unfair than others. And like I know it's crazy to say, but I feel like it's killing college football. You have got to cut off. You have to cut off the stupid. What is it called? Not I guess sponsors, but I don't know what is it called when a team like when somebody like pumping money into a university. I can't think of the name, but like you need to cut that off because like that's ruining this stuff, dude. Like it's actually ruining it because it's just like stupid. It's just stupid. It's like it's the same shit. Oh, Alabama gets all these recruits. Georgia gets all these recruits and transfers. Ohio State gets all these recruits and transfers. It's just stupid, man. It's dumb because it doesn't give any chance for any other university, even if you're in the SEC, even if you're in the Big Ten, the Big 12, any of the Power Four. Like it doesn't give them a chance. It doesn't. And I think we're better off when it was all under the table and you couldn't really hand out these super, super large contracts because it was illegal. So like they weren't handing out these $5 million contracts probably. I mean, maybe they were, but it wasn't like to that extent, and I think we were better off that way. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of not really liking college football at the moment because their favorite team losing all their best players to other universities, which sucks. It just sucks. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the playoff predictions, the college football playoff, the national championship, who's going to win the Super Bowl. Where do you think Harbaugh and Stefanski go? All those things. Was Damon Williams correct in his assessment of the situation? Obviously not, but hey, you never know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, check out TikTok, check out Twitter, check out Instagram, all those things help out a ton. But yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy football today, tomorrow, the next day, and throughout January into February. It's going to be good. Stay safe. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll be seeing ya in the next one.